Hello Guardians, and welcome back to the channel. I'm on a steady diet of helium right now, so I may sound different today. No, in all seriousness, Ryan caught a nasty cold and he sounds pretty terrible. Seriously, when he speaks, I ask him kindly not to because it's even more irritating than normal. Jokes aside, he'll be back for the next video, but in the meantime, I'm his wife, Girl on a Hippo, and I'll be taking the reins for this commentary on this video. Everything following this intro will be his words, not mine, so bear with me if I mispronounce any of these Destiny terms, and know that these are all TV's thoughts, not mine. Here we go. Look, I know I'm not supposed to hate this gun.
No, I am supposed to hate this gun.
Oh, sorry. I know I'm supposed to hate this gun, but I just kinda don't. On paper, you stack it up against something like a Sweet Sorrow, the rapid fire frame craftable auto rifle from the Season of the Risen, and it's verifiably worse than the Sorrow. The Sorrow has more stability, more handling, faster reload speed, more zoom, more airborne effectiveness, better recoil, and honestly, a perk pool that makes auto rifle lovers drool. But here's Dark Decider. Can't be crafted, pales in comparison on paper, and yet for some inexplicable reason, I'm out here in PC lobbies with full skill-based matchmaking, going toe-to-toe with some of the best dueling weapons in the game and coming out on top. Make it make sense, guys. Was this just a fluke thing? I tried it again in a second gaming session, also on PC, and the outcome was the same. I honestly don't have a good reason for why the gun feels good to me. I wish I could give you one. The best thing I can do is break down the role that I ended up using for you and see if you can do some detective work and find out what's going on under the hood for me. We'll crowdsource the frick out of this thing. Before we dive into the nitty-gritty, I do have to say upfront that overall, I find the Iron Banner weapon pool to be a pretty embarrassing display. When we compare to days since gone, we used to have weapons like Multimach, literally one of the most powerful premier SMGs in the history of the game. We had the Reese Walker, the Peace Bond, or if you want to go for nostalgia, you've got the OG weapons like Clever Dragon, Finala's Peril, Ephrodite's Spear, Fellwinter's Lie. I mean, the history of the Iron Banner is rich. But when we come to today's iteration, and its zone control with some turrets that are gone in seconds and a diluted weapon pool, it's definitely disappointing. I feel like they could have gone much harder with the whole thing, including better weapons, a different map rotation to shake things up, and the Cabal spin on Iron Banner could have been way cooler and bigger. The armor is cool, I'm grateful for it, but as a whole, Iron Banner today is pretty lame in my opinion. It feels like the seasonal model of doing a little bit very frequently is trickling down into every part of the game, rather than doing more sweeping changes moderately frequently. But let's get back to the Dark Decider. I wanted to cover my quick thoughts on the banner without making a full video dedicated to it. But the Dark Decider is an energy rapid fireframe auto rifle that follows the same model as the Valakadon from year 1, except it's uglier. This whole aesthetic for Iron Banner weapons was awful, and the allied demand is no exception either in my opinion. But that's alright, we take the ugly ones too. For base stats, the Decider is rocking 25 range, 49 stability, 39 handling, 46 reload speed, 72 aim assist, 16 zoom, and an atrocious 43 recoil direction. Overall, these stats are not great. On paper, this gun is probably a hard pass, but the perks are where things get a little interesting. In the first column, you've got subsistence, dynamic sway reduction, iron grip, auto-loading holster, offhand strike, and well-rounded. Those last three, auto-loading, offhand, and well-rounded, are all a hard pass. There's no good reason to use those on this gun. I recommend either dynamic sway reduction or iron grip. But for me, iron grip is the clear winner in this column. Trust me, with that awful recoil direction, you're going to want to rein that in immediately with iron grip. It won't affect the recoil reduction itself, but it will dial back the severity of it so much that you can't even tell the direction is bad. In the second column, you've got Volt Shot, Golden Tricorn, Dragonfly, Iron Reach, Rangefinder, and Gut Shot Straight. There are only two here that I think are worth your time. Volt Shot for PvE if for some weird reason you want to run this over the Ikelos SMG or Brigand's Law, but who am I to judge? And for PvP, I think you're going to want Rangefinder. I know some people are looking at Iron Reach, but the recoil on this rifle is so dang bad that you don't want the minus 30 stability debuff that Iron Reach applies. That's a big no-no. I think the combination of Iron Grip and Rangefinder is the best bet here. My roll is really good, but it's missing Rangefinder. The roll you're seeing in this video is small bore, accurized rounds, iron grip, dragonfly, vice stinger over skulking wolf, and a stability masterwork. So I'm hitting 86 stability on mine with 42 range. If I could get rangefinder instead of dragonfly on this roll, I would be elated. I'm going to keep playing and focusing my engrams, and hopefully I'll get there. If I do, I'll be sure to circle back and offer some updated thoughts on it. If not in a video, then on Twitter. So that's my roll, and even without rangefinder, I found that I was actually pretty impressed with the range of this AR. But if I could push my dueling range out another meter or two, that would be even better, obviously. Dragonfly isn't really doing much for me, but I do get assists from time to time in the gameplay in this video from the splash damage it's causing. But I'm anxious to hear your thoughts on this thing. Did you get a roll that feels good? What perk combinations are working for you? Do you hate this weapon like most people, or are you kind of surprised by it like me? Let me know in the comment section, and I'll be eager to read through those comments, as usual, even if I don't have the time to respond to each of them directly. Thanks as always for watching the video. If you found it enjoyable or informative, then please consider gently tapping that like button and consider subscribing for even more Destiny 2 content. Be warm and well fed, my friends, and happy hunting out there. And I hope to catch you in the Crucible.